Welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. For those of you who tune into my morning thoughts and you're wondering why there was no morning thoughts this day, the 16th of November 2020, it's because I already gave you two important videos that I wanted you to watch, and I didn't want to take away the momentum from those videos by doing a morning thoughts. So, Jamaica woman exposes multiple family members and call names is a video of a woman bearing her heart and soul out for almost an hour straight. You need to hear the details in that video. And the important video, the plan to mandate or make mandatory vaccination for New York City, and all the details behind a resolution that has already been passed by New York State Bar Association on the 7th of November 2020 here. Now, this story we're going to get in today is nothing but sadness in the entire story. The story is about a woman who lost her life in Antigua at the hand of her lover, and also about a young boy who went missing in Clarendon, Jamaica, and was found in a gruesome state. Let's start out with the woman. Jamaica woman murdered by ex-boyfriend in Antigua. So I went digging through Antigua and Barbuda's news, and I was not able to find not one sentence about this. However, I did find a lot of information in Jamaica, and we got a couple of notes on what is going on here. So, as far as what's been released so far, the police in Antigua and Barbuda are actually searching for a 34-year-old man who murdered this woman in the capital, which is St. John's, just a few days ago. Now, the thing about this is, why do they in the Caribbean always post the pictures of the victim and not post the picture of the person who is wanted? Soon as I started to read the article, I said to myself, well, if they know that he is 34 years old, then they must have some idea of who this is that they are looking for. Why not post the picture of him so that other people who see him somewhere can contact law enforcement? They do the same thing in Jamaica as well, and it always puzzles me. For all I know, this youth probably killed this lady, jumped on a plane, and is in New York City somewhere, or is walking around in Florida somewhere, and I might walk right past him and not know that he is the person that did this. So instead of releasing his age, why not release his identity? Anyways, the incident occurred shortly before 10 o'clock at a place called Tanner Street. Now, the police said that her name is Simone White Barrington, and she was at the Hitachi building when she was approached by the suspect, who attacked her with a knife. There are discrepancies. Some people are saying it's her on-again, off-again boyfriend. Some people are saying they were broken up. She was with him, but they are no longer with each other. And there's another story to this as well, which I am going to get into after I go through what was released to the public. So the police said that Simone White Barrington was at the Hitachi building when she was approached by the suspect, the 34-year-old suspect who just attacked her. Simone White Barrington received multiple stab wounds. Not only did he stab her up right there in public, but he took the time to also cut her throat. Now, White Barrington, she was a hairdresser and she worked at a salon in that area. She had reportedly moved to Antigua from Jamaica just 3 years ago. She was a mother of 4 children. Police says that White and her attacker were in a relationship. That is from this particular source. There are other sources out there carrying the same story that says they were no longer in a relationship and this was her ex. Family and friends took to social media on Sunday to express their grief, right? This happened 2 days before her birthday. So she would have been celebrating her birthday right now, and instead they are planning her funeral. It's sad. It's sad that these men don't know how to let go. The other story that we are hearing is that this is someone that she wanted to get rid of completely, as in done, be done with it. But this person was of the mind frame that if I can't have you, no one else will, kind of thing. And this is why this ended in this manner. You left me for man. She leave me for another man. Some men can't take that. And it's just sad and weak as hell that you take a woman's life because for whatever reason it is, but worst of all, because she is done with you and she is moving on. You move on too. You don't have to kill her. You know what's funny with Caribbean men, and they never said in the article if this man is a Jamaican or if she went to Antigua 3 years ago and then hooked up with an Antiguan, or he is from some other Caribbean island living in Antigua, just like how she is from Jamaica living in Antigua. They never gave his nationality, so we don't know. But I'm willing to bet that it was a Caribbean man. And a lot of these Caribbean men, it's funny as hell because they can dish out the bun all day. And for those of you who don't know what bun means that your partner is sleeping with someone else as well as sleeping with you. And this happens all the time. I see Caribbean men go through this all the time. Like, they will give out the bun, but they cannot take it. Now, in this particular case, if the story that I'm hearing is correct, she was completely over him. But apparently he found out she was talking to someone else. And it was a case of, if I can't have you, no one else will. Rest in peace to this beautiful queen. Condolences to her. She moved away from Jamaica. Jamaica, where we say, boy, the crime rate, the murder rate too high and all these things. And look at that. She left Jamaica and went to Antigua. Antigua has a very low crime rate, especially when it comes to gruesome murders. It's not like Jamaica with the numbers. And yet still, she went there and she died that same way. All the other contributing factors, I don't know. I'm going to stay close to the story, as close as possible. But just want to tell the man them, say, stop kill off the woman them, yo. When she say it's done, just leave. Go find you somebody else as well. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now we're going to move on to the next story. And the next story is just heartbreaking, but it's puzzling as hell for the simple reason that this story feels like is on repeat, because this happened again before. This happened before, just recently. I don't know if you remember the two girls. One little girl was found hanging, and the story that came to us is that she was playing in her backyard, and they were doing some kind of construction, and there was some wiring or a rope that was hanging from the ceiling, and she got her neck tangled up in it, and she probably hung herself by accident. Like, there are crazy stories out there. And then the other one was the child that got stabbed, and they said that she stabbed herself I believe it was in her upper body somewhere. Just crazy stories. But in this particular story now, the body of the missing 6-year-old boy found at Pump House in Lioneltown, Clarendon. This story is just heartbreaking, but I have a lot of questions. Now, the body of the missing 6-year-old O'Shane Banton had been found at a pump house in Lioneltown, Clarendon. Little O'Shane went missing on Friday. So he was first reported as a missing child, right? And of course, everybody is saying, how does a small child like that go missing from home at that? It's not like you went out somewhere and you're at the mall and you say, watch my picnic for me real quick. Watch my child for me real quick. I gotta go drop this over here. And you come back and a stranger gone with your child. It's not like he was abducted from his room and you went in there and the window was wide open and said somebody take him out of the house. There are so many questions around how this little child went missing. A child this age should always be under supervision. If I don't hear my children at this age, if I don't hear my children for, say, 2 minutes, I'm going to look to see. Maybe they're pushing a fork in the outlet and electrocuting themselves in the other side of the house. You don't know. So children have to be under constant supervision. So the body of the missing 6-year-old was found at a pump house in Lioneltown, Clarendon. And little O'Shane went missing Friday. Now, up to late Saturday, way in the evening, the Clarendon police were processing the scene. Anika Davidson, which is the mother of the 6-year-old O'Shane Banton, now has more questions than answers. Well, I have more questions for you too. So Anyways, this is how it came out. Surrounding the death of her son, she has a lot of questions. Whose body was discovered in sewage water at a pump house in Lioneltown? Did the little boy wander away from home and ended up over there and ended up drowning? Or was he abducted and was placed there? Davidson, which is the mom, she could not contain her tears as she recalled her last moments with her child. Now, of course, she's going to go on to talk about all the good memories and the good things. She's trying to cope, right? She started and stated that she was hurrying to go and look about some business in Maypen when O'Shane came into the bathroom to take a shower. Now, after getting dressed, she noted that O'Shane hurriedly put on a merino and some underpants, and he asked if he could accompany her to Maypen. In her words, "Me say, you nah go baby." Him say, "You can't carry me with you." And me say, "Me soon come." This is what she said, right? At that point, O'Shane asked his grandmother now to help him talk to mommy and make mommy carry me with her. Donnery Roberts Davidson, which is his grandmother, he was asking her to plead him case with mommy, make mommy carry me with her. My mother say, "No man, and me pen she a go, and she soon come." This is what Davidson, the grandmother, said before breaking down once more in tears. Davidson described her son as a fun-loving child that always made her smile. She added that he was a joy to her father, which is his grandfather, who always prayed for a grandson. A student at Watsonton Primary in Lioneltown, O'Shane harbored dreams of being a policeman or a soldier one day, and he bragged about growing up to take care of his mother, his sister, and his grandparents. Davidson said that O'Shane's biggest dream was to travel, and him always say, for travel you need a passport and a ticket, and I don't have that. And me correct him and tell him say him already have a passport, so he would only need a ticket, she said. I had plans to let us travel one day. Trailing off again in grief. Davison said that she returned from Maypen. This is the part of the story now. Davison said that she returned from Maypen at about 4 in the afternoon and she realized that O'Shane was missing. Stick a pin. Stop. O'Shane is missing. Who was he left with? Because a child that's 6 years old, you don't just tell them, say me I go a Maypen, me soon come back, and leave them. Who was he left with? In whose care? I would start with that person. And I don't care if it's your grandfather or his grandfather and it's your father. I don't care if it's the grandmother and it's your mom and you're thinking they could never do anything to your child. Me no care. That is where your investigation should start, with whomever that child was left with. Tell me if I'm wrong or right, people in the comment section, please. When no one could account for his whereabouts, a report was made to the police and a search was launched. She said that she was unprepared for the gruesome discovery of his body in that sewage water. Sewage water, you know, people. Do the water, you know. If them did kill me picnic and put him in a car trunk and leave him on my yard, remember me tell you, at least me could have rubbed down him small face and him neck and me would have said, alright, me I imagine him a smile. But them kill me picnic and throw him in a shit water and dispose of him, she said. Although an investigation is still being carried out on the incident by the police, Davidson has ruled out any thought that her son drowned or of his death being accidental. So the mom has seen her child at this point, found his body, right, in the sewage water. And she's saying, he was murdered. This is not he wandered away and drowned. So she is convinced that foul play was involved. She is even saying that if them did just kill him and put him in a car trunk and leave him in our yard, at least she would have been able to hug him up and rub him up. But when you see your child in doo-doo, you're not going to go rub up and hug up the body that's in the doo-doo. You know what I'm saying? Now, investigations are going on, of course. But she says, I no accident that. The pump house lock up over there, so with key. She said, that place is under lock and key. That's no accident. Me 6-year-old. Me no live bad with nobody. Me no trouble nobody. Me no owe nobody nothing. Fi say, them a go torture him for me. Every day me look to him, and me say, oh, listen now, every day me look to him, and me say, OJ, you not do no badness. Then we take your life. Don't go in a no gang. This is what Davison said as she was crying and crying and crying. Now, why? Sad as ever. But in this incident, I believe foul play at the hands of a family member or someone close in the community. Someone saw and someone know the runnings and the dynamics of the family and knew exactly how to take this child away. Waiting for further reports to come out to see if he was sexually assaulted, because people don't just take away a little child and just go kill them and throw them in doo-doo. There's something more here. Was he lured away from the home by someone who is well known to the family and to the children? Oshin, come here. And he went and they grabbed him because they realized, say, Mommy not home and everybody else doing their own thing. And he's just wandering out in the yard. You know what I'm saying? Either way you take it, it's just disgusting, it's sad, it looks bad. But there are a lot of questions to be answered in this one. So sad to see this little melanated king, and him so handsome, and so sad to know that this is how he lost his life. But this is Jamaica for us. I mean, it happens everywhere, but check our record. We have record numbers. Not only are we number 2 in the world, as it's been said, right? Number 2 in the world for femicide, which is the murder of our females, but our children are under this as well. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. Do you know anything about any of these stories? Talk up, and I'll catch you on the next video. And don't forget, the 2 important videos that I want you to go see is the one where the Jamaican woman exposes multiple family members and calls names. You have to listen to that. There's a lesson in it for all of us. And also the plan to mandate vaccination, a resolution which was passed by New York State Bar Association recently. Stay woke. I'm out. Peace.